The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
This is the Eagles Sports Network. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, alongside Carson-Newman head men's basketball coach Chuck Benson. Chuck, you start a journey up to Banner Elk, North Carolina, that you hope will lead to some marvelous things this season. LeesMcRae and King open up the 2019-2020 schedule for Carson-Newman. It's finally time to unveil whatever this team is. What does Carson-Newman look like 2019-2020 after a few weeks of preseason practice?
Well, I've really enjoyed our preseason. I've enjoyed the practices. I've loved the attitude and the competitiveness in particular of this group of guys. And we're going to the season now, and I'm excited to see, it's almost like one season. Preseason is now over, and now regular season is starting. I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys do what we're trying to do.
Take on two Conference Carolinas opponents, and LeesMcRae and King, 2 years removed, both of them, from NCAA tournament trips. Steve Harden, George Pitts, both very good coaches. And two teams oddly similar in that they had key cogs missing from last year's teams, both down years for LeesMcRae and King. What sticks out to you about the Bobcats and the Tornado this year?
Well, as you said, both teams have got proven players back in uniform this year that were dealing with redshirt injuries and so forth a year ago. Both are solid. I mean, LeesMcRae has one of the best perimeter kids in Conference Carolinas, and Camille Williams, and a host of other kids. And Andrew, the big at LeesMcRae, was a freshman of the year, I guess, last year, maybe in the conference. So they're going to be really, really good, and they're very versatile in terms of both offensive and defensively. And then King, same kind of deal. 4 seniors, all 4 have averaged double figures, led, of course, by Jordan Floyd, who is, in my mind, if he's not an All-American, I don't know what is an All-American, and a host of other guys that have come to their own. So, we're expecting an unbelievably competitive, challenging opening weekend, but our team really needs that right now. If we're going to be the best we can be the second semester, we've got to really sort of encounter some tests and some tough challenges and see how we respond.
You've always been about processes, and with 5 guys on this team that have seen collegiate game action at Carson-Newman, how do you measure success when you're integrating so many new parts?
Well, we sort of right now have an established rotation we're going to go with opening up this weekend, so that's a plus. But as you said, I mean, we don't have almost anyone. I guess Reese Anderson is our 4th-year senior that has actually played more than anybody else, and even that has been in a really relegated secondary kind of fashion. So to say there's a lot that we don't know is a true understatement. So it's funny every time we seems like when we go to a practice or we've had preseason scrimmages and inter-squad scrimmages, a lot of times I'm sort of sitting there like a sponge, just trying to soak it up and make sure that I'm really getting the most complete understanding of our players and how they play together.
You bring that up. Who's somebody that Carson-Newman fans can expect to see something from this weekend?
Well, I would like to think that we've got several guys I think that'll add value. Jalen McGill really showed himself well in some of the scrimmages. Trip Davis, same thing, showed well. There's 2 sort of first year in the program perimeter guys. It's really hard to say, Kev, because every game's its own sort of individual dance, and where 1 or 2 guys may do something special one night, there may be other guys that do something special another night. And I have been saying that to our team, and I sort of sense that we've got so many guys that could add value on either side of the ball on any given night. And I don't necessarily think this is going to be maybe like what we've seen here in my tenure, or my first 4 years, you had sort of a really strong, steady dose of Ish Sanders, and Antoine Davis, and then after that you sort of had this Charles Clark, Sawyer Williams, Carson Brooks kind of thing going, You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now I think it's going to be a lot more balanced, possibly.
You look at Lees-McRae and King. Both of them can shoot the three very well and do so at an efficient and high rate. What's it take to slow down the Bobcats and the Tornado in that regard?
Well, I think we got to do a couple things. One, we've got to make sure we find people in transition to limit, quick scores. We've got to make sure that we do a good job of not overhelping and sort of staying tied to that perimeter. And then we've got to limit seconds and thirds by defensive rebounding. All that being said, that's one side of the ball, but we've also got to put points on the board, and we've got to be fast and aggressive and really make sure that we keep game pressure on at all times.
Chuck, pleasure as always. Good luck this weekend against Lees-McRae and King.
Great, Kev. Thank you.
That is Carson-Newman head men's basketball coach Chuck Benson. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, and this is the Eagle Sports Network.